A North Texas school district just struck a deal to avoid a state takeover. Everman ISD opted for a little-known but increasingly common tactic, spending millions to outsource operations at its failing schools. For months now, Cole Sullivan has been investigating how this works, and he found it's becoming more and more common at school districts across the state.
Track me to the first page.
At first glance, this Wichita Falls ISD middle school looks like every other.
To talk to your partner.
Classrooms, teachers, and sixth graders acting their age.
Excellent work.
But this year, Wichita Falls ISD does not operate Hershey Middle, even though it is a public school.
Sit with Camilla.
Instead, the district now pays someone else to run it.
We were very nervous about going into Hershey. He was very nervous.
Danielle Grooms, like her 11-year-old Colton, was worried when she found out the district was outsourcing his education.
Had you ever heard of something like this?
No, I mean, like, who has? Like, how often do you hear about something like this?
But Wichita Falls ISD says it didn't have much of a choice.
How much of this was driven by the threat of TEA takeover?
Majority of it.
Superintendent Donnie Lee.
We had to come in, our hair was on fire, there was a lot of urgency.
The middle school had multiple years of failing accountability scores from the TEA, putting the entire 13,000 student district at risk of state takeover, which would cost the superintendent and his school board their jobs.
The TEA was calling me my first week on the job and saying, this is a 5-alarm fire and you better find a way to put it out.
One little-known but increasingly popular option, hire a third-party operator to run the failing school.
I looked over at my board members, and they're just going, wow, this is it.
The deal is called an 1882 partnership after the bill a decade ago that created the option. It takes the heat off the district. The TEA grants a 2-year reprieve from state takeover and sends more dollars. And in exchange, the district pays millions to a third party to run the school.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Wichita Falls hired Colorado-based Third Future Schools to turn around Hershey Middle at an average cost of $375,000 a month.
It boils down to millions of dollars per year.
We're off to a good start.
A familiar face founded the nonprofit collecting the money. Controversial former Dallas Superintendent Mike Miles, who the TEA appointed to lead Houston ISD when the state took over that district. Miles resigned as Third Future CEO, but still consults for it. He did not respond to our request for comment. Third Future declined to comment. At last month's board meeting, Third Future says it's planning to grow fast in Texas.
I think we'll land between 10 and 12 additional campuses.
Woo!
Records we obtained show 5 districts currently contract with Third Future to run 6 failing schools. And Third Future says at least 7 more Texas districts, including Everman and North Texas, have hired or are considering hiring them in the coming weeks.
Due to many schools being in year 3 or 4 of the F ranking, and districts needing to do something to pause the accountability clock.
Because you didn't finish.
At Hershey Middle School this year, the changes started fast.
Yes, of course.
As Third Future brought in almost all their own highly paid staff.
Our first-year teachers here are about $50,000 to $53,000. I mean, they're starting them out, $78,000, $80,000 plus a teacher incentive allotment. It's $100,000.
Students noticed the other changes.
All these things that you would think at a normal middle school, a lot of those things are gone.
Library?
No library. But there's no athletics during the day. There's no band during the day. Those are all, now they're after school activities.
At the front of the lunch line, kids are asked multiplication questions. A wrong answer sends them to the back of the line. Outrage forced the campus to put out this Facebook post assuring parents, quote, lunch is not withheld from any student.
It is highly structured.
And students are told to be quiet as they're walked in a single file line from class to class.
They don't get to socialize.
How do you feel about that?
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, because they're not there to socialize, they're there to learn.
Wichita Falls points to mid-year test data showing Hershey students have averaged 1.4 years of academic growth in the first 5 months of school. But the head of the state's largest teachers association says the test scores are not worth sending millions of public education dollars away from local districts.
At what price do we pay
for quote unquote better test scores that frankly mean little to nothing.
And those scores may not last.
Is this just a short-term fix, or is this changing behavior over the long term?
Michael Hinojosa, who once led Dallas ISD, points to a school in Odessa where the grade went from an F to a B and then slid back to a D after Third Future's contract ended and its highly paid teachers left.
It's got to stand the test of time. You can't just have short-term victories.
Colton and his mom Danielle say they like the Third Future deal.
I don't think it's going to work for all kids. It's just not. But normal school doesn't either.